Fifi whailo atu leo mwhaio na maua lewa noa ia e talatala noa I fo'i ma le susunga ia Latu Toomaga ia te loa tau le whaailoa ina fo'i ia lea fo'i tamali o se tato atu nuu ia na ngaluenga ia e whai le community a meisa lava tato Porirua. Ia iona tau mai ma ta upu tau ia o onga o pulenga ma keti fofuanga whaatatitia ma suenga. O ia fo'i o se fofoutua malosi mo tangata Pasifika ma Maori e na te umia ina fo'i le whailongo le master's degree I mata upo le educational psychology. Tau la ia na suenga whaasai nisi I le tā ua o tau sanga mua po o tau sanga tau a mata mai ia o leo langa o tamaiti la iti e a waifo I tutono le Brainwave Trust New Zealand. Latu is an experienced consulting director with a demonstrated history of working in the management consulting industry. He's skilled in coaching, event management, marketing, strategic planning, and research. Strong consulting professional with a master's degree, educational psychology focused in scientific research on the importance of early years of life and unveiling the mysteries of from the Brainwave Trust New Zealand. Fatalo Fatula Sunga Latu, thank you so much for coming to Samoa Capital Radio.
I was just thinking, who are you talking about?
Malo le soi fua whaftai lava le talia mai fo le wala au. Ia ale siu fofonga o le lau mua. Hoa mai oe le nei tai au.
A leo ke manu ia whawhitai au te whaatalo whaatu ma whawhelo e le pa ia ma le mamalu le so. Ia tu loa tu ia auto uma whapai nei le nei tangata tu lo lava. Ia olo usu wafa o tu alo ina Latu Toomaga au te sau mai le nuu olo tina o le nuu safa atoa le whanga. Ai o le tū o la utama I sau mai le nuu si ufanga whalatai. Ia. Talo whalawa. Ia.
Malo whaftai Latu. Tali tonu ia e le o tau whaailo fo I lau sunga I le tātou community ni Porirua I ono le tele fo I o vaenga e tenga lue ai. Ai mana ia ta amata mai ia nei vai taimi po wa fo I ni au ngaluenga wa fo I ni matafa ioi olo e tau aveina ma e ngalue ai le taimi nei.
Ia olo ngaluenga o le manager of the 502 Rangatahi Ora. And in that job, I look after the nurses, doctors, counsellors, psychologists, youth workers, all in this place. And we service children aged 10 to 24. So any kids that want to come, it's for free, but you have to be aged 10 to 24. And we offer, they can come and go and see the doctor and their nurse. If they have trouble with their emotions, they can see a counsellor or a psychologist. And if they want to have a mentor, somebody to be a role model, then they come and see our youth workers. Yeah.
And it's free, Elise.
It's free, Elise Kukungi. And it's under the iwi, so Ngāti Toa are the iwi, and they have a business branch, which is the Runanga, that's the name. And the 502 sits underneath the Runanga. And I'm the manager of that space.
Nice, malo whaftai. Lau sunga po lau whitalainga tula waina. You were talking off air I tuan tato taltanoa about one of your theses that you're working on at the moment. E mawhaiona e whatlawi loa ia lea tūlanga po le poloketi fo iolo e tusina le taimini nei.
Yeah, so I've been very blessed to be accepted to study the PhD at Victoria University, and I'm looking at how our Pacifica kids struggle when they get to college. So when they go from intermediate to college, sometimes they have trouble with their family problems, have trouble getting to school late, have trouble paying for their uniform, have trouble with bullies at school. They're scared to go to school because it's a new college, and they don't know how to read the timetable, because in college you go from English and then the next class is on the other side of the school, and the kids get confused. So my thesis is around that. It's how do we help our kids to do better just at the beginning of college at year 9 and help them to succeed so they can keep going all the way to university if they can, if they want to.
Nice. And so how is it getting along? You get a lot of interview with, so you get them together and have a talanoa?
So at the moment, I'm just writing up what they call a proposal. So I have to give the university an idea of my paper.
Yes.
And if they accept it, then I start the interviews.
That's nice.
Yeah, so that's next year. I have to hand it in February.
Mana ia. This is related to the project that Sifufonga Lum was trying to work on at the moment. Is called Pacific Outreach. Actually looking at, like what you said, Latu, mawhatianga ma papui mo tātou whānau mai le wasenga walu e o le wasenga iwa. Awa fo ia whawhitauli po o struggles. Lewa e, you have named some of them which are so true and common, like bullying. Making friends is a big social skill that our kids are lacking. I le tama whai wo.
Yeah, and so our kids are also on the device, on the phone.
Yes.
And so a lot of their time they spend on the phone. And so they're looking at things that they shouldn't be looking at, or they're staying up all night to look at the device. And that means it affects their sleep. And so if it affects your sleep, then it affects your mood. And then the way you wake up in the morning, you get grumpy.
True.
And then when you get to school, you haven't had enough sleep and you get mad. So you're mad at the teacher. So I want to look at how we help our kids understand sleep. Sleep's really important.
Yes.
Helps your body to heal. If you're exercising, you need to rest your body and your mind ready for school. So that's one issue. The other one is around, sometimes kids just don't know how to get around the school. It's really hard, so they pretend, I'm good, I'm really good. And then a week later they're crying in the school because they don't know where they're supposed to go, and the teacher's going, where are you? And you're like, and they go there, and then they're in the wrong class.
Yes.
And they call that anxiety. I'm not sure what the name is in Samoan for anxiety or stress. What's the name?
Pe ole whaanoanoanga lo loto po ole popole.
Yeah.
Loto popole. And I think it happens to us adults as well.
Yeah.
Latu, ali lava le moe. If we don't have enough sleep, we are all grumpy.
Yeah. So that's a good point. So when I talk to parents, I ask them about their habits and would they like to look at the way that they're sleeping, because the kids, what do? They follow their parents.
Yeah.
They watch their parents. They listen to their parents, and they do what they do. So sometimes we have to say, we better go to sleep.
Yep.
we better get off the phone because the kids are watching.
Yes.
And we better have a kalangwanga, actually. How are the kids doing? How are you doing today? Ola o mea onga. So whainga ko kala. Instead of alulo e
Whailau TV.
Yeah. So if we leave them alone, what are they doing? And that's what I'm wanting to help our parents understand.
Nice.
And the other thing is helping our parents to understand how the brain works. So when our parents, our Samoan parents, when we were brought up, my dad and mum used to go, they used to say, "Whaile me lea, aua ke kali mai." And I'd go, okay.
Maali.
But now we say to our kids, sit down, let's have a talk about what you're thinking and feeling. Expressing.
What they feel.
So there's a change because our kids need to know that we love them through talanoa. And and sometimes it's not it's not about the parents having control and being the boss. It's about parents having a relationship and sitting with their kids and talking and seeing how they are. So it's a little bit different from when I was brought up. I didn't have much to say because I wasn't allowed to say it.
Yes, tātou umalawa nā mana e o vaenga leo e sau noa I nei tātou mātua ia e los whaatonu ia nā tu alaloa o nā whapeo le whai tātou te ilunga fo o tātou screens i whapena fo I along whanau. Latu, so I know you already touched on some of the key outcomes you want from this thesis and this project you're working on. What are some of the results or solutions that you're looking into?
So some of the solutions are allowing families to get the right information, good information.
Yes.
And asking them to come to parenting workshops with me.
Yes.
Sometimes I could go to the church and do a church intervention or workshops. So I was out in Nainai and I went to the Efakasa there and the beautiful minister there, he said, so whailo workshop mō mākou uma. So I talked to, the first workshop was with just the parents. Then he said, you know what, Latu, I want you to come again for the whole church. So I went back and we did a workshop for 2-3 hours with the whole church, including the kids and the teenagers, around the importance of what we do as Samoan parents and then balancing up how the kids' brains develop so they can understand, oh, is that what's going on when we yell at them? So when I yell at them, or when I go, or my voice goes higher, and there's even if there's violence, what does that impact? What is the impact of that on the kids? How do they learn if you're going to fussy? How do they learn if you're going to scream? And
it's breaking that cycle.
Yeah. It's looking at the way the brain responds to that cycle. So the brain responds in a stress response, and the brain goes to red. If it goes to red, all you want to do is fight back, run away, flight, or freeze. Just listen and do. So I just wanted to explain that to the parents, and they really understood and went, okay, my actions are really important, and my words. So what kind of words and actions are you giving to your kids so that they can develop positive and they can be beautiful, young, amazing kids that grow up with respect?
Really like what you just said, Latu. When they're in red, they can't hear you. They cannot hear you when you're there in red. What are some challenges you're facing today in general? How are you getting lots of response from our Pasifika people? Because understandable that if you e talo I o whono pe on e ta ua e mānei o e sau noa e te anga I au lotu e kalesia. Awai, fo ile papui pui o nei tato ainga Pasifika e leiona le o I whono tanga me pena.
They're too busy, eh?
Yeah.
So the reason why I went to the church is because that's the way to get in.
Yes.
Because they would never come to a workshop in the community or to a parent workshop at school. So with the minister, he said, come to the church, because when the minister speaks, everybody listens. And so that was my way. The response was very positive. They really respected the way I delivered, because it's the way I deliver to make it funny.
Yes.
Everybody has a laugh, and then next minute we're crying because we're sharing a little bit of our way of life.
It's nice. Mana ia te le whamani nonga vaenga le nei tatou mātua Pasifika e le o mawhaiona a wai I ia fo I whanotanga le mwhaiona whafonga I whanotanga I kalesia pe a sua toi le sunga lātou whamanino whamalamalama le tele o vaenga ia e winga la vai tatou whanau. Lātou, going back to our year 8s and year 9s and the struggles that they're facing, that transition period o le anga I mai I le wasenga walu anga I le wasenga iwa. E to te lena I tatou whanau Samoa e te iloa ma e sila fia o iai ia whaafitauli ia whaafinga taona me I fo I le ia 9.
Yeah, so there's different groups. So most Pacific families like to do what they do in their own systems. So they have their church, they have their families, they have their support systems. So they won't present at school. Many of them will just keep everything in-house, because that's the way Samoans do it. They do their own whongo, talanoa. They have their meetings at church. That's good. But then there are those that slip through that really struggle, and those are families that are struggling anyway with poverty and finance and parenting. So not a lot, because we don't know really what's going on in Pacifica families, but there are some that really struggle, and you can see that they struggle because the kids present in a way that they don't come to school. They look like they need shoes. They look like they're hungry all the time. They come late. They come and see me, and they don't say anything, but I can see they're struggling. So a handful of them, so not that many, but those that do come through, you can really see that they're struggling. So I want to help those ones.
That's exit. Te loe Latu toi titi avaya so uma every week we have stats e numero fa maumawina o vainga foi o ainga po I tu ainga tangata e mo lalo so fo maloloina e tene lava na afia I tato Pacifica us Pacifica families, Pacifica people, our numbers are always so high o tamaiti lea o onga o lea. So how can you help bring those numbers a bit, not bring them right down, because we can't bring them right down. But.
So a lot of them are really struggling, and they're becoming more, they're coming out more to say that they have issues with anxiety, depression, and we know that the suicide rates for Māori and Pacific are higher than any other in New Zealand. So it's a real concern. But I think if we help our parents to understand the relationship that they have with their kids is paramount. It's very special, and every parent will say, yes, Latu, I love my kids, I'll do anything for them. That's true. But what I'm saying is we really need to know how to respond to their behaviours of anxiety. They don't want to go to school now. They're staying in their room. They're not doing anything. And part of that is because of their adolescent brain development. So when you come out of being a child and into this teenage age, there are three major things that happen. Number one, they want to take a risk. Peer pressure. The peer pressures. They take the risk. They want to take that risk. The second one is, oh my gosh, I want to go. Mum, I want to go to the disco or to the thing that's happening at school, and Mum says, no, you can't because you've got your exam tomorrow. And they go, I'm going to go to my bedroom. And then they go climb out the window and they go. Because their brain and their body tells them that they need to be where everybody is. There's a second. The last thing is, there's my friend over there. Even though they love Mum and Dad, I love you, Mum and Dad, their friends become number one. And that's the three things that are happening in a young person's brain, because that's part of how it develops. And we say, and we say, oh, but that's my friend. You're treating my friend really bad. And so the young person has a real connection to their peers, because at that stage they're trying to get to know someone outside their family that could be a potential partner in the future. So that's what's happening. They're learning to get along with others so that in the future there's potential partnerships, which means relationships. And that's why it broadens out. So as parents, we think, oh my gosh, I'm losing my son, I'm losing my daughter. But you're not. They absolutely love us, but they need to do what they need to do naturally. That's what happens. They're surrounded by their clan, their group, for so long, and then they step out, find friends, then they step out, find their clique, and then they step out, find their partner.
I love how you clarified this. I'm a parent myself too. Latu stages Manea watu leva nolia Latu pe inisi vaenga te fia sau no iai o le toe tele vo start time o toe ai manea watu leva nolia o afo ini nisi vaenga o launga luenga e te finangalo e whaailoa.
I just, I feel very humbled and very blessed to do what I do. Everybody in Purirua that knows me, they know that my heart is for our people. That's number one for me. Oh, sorry, God, yeah. And then Makua,
Yes.
my parents and my kids, and then my whole family. And then the community. So if I can help people, I do. So I have my own consult business. It's called Positive Impact. And with that, people ring up and they ask, Latu, can you help us? But don't tell anyone. And so I help people if they need help. So I might help a person go to court and help them with their charges and support them in the court and write a report to the judge. And then I might help them with their program to get better, to become a better dad, I might help a family that's dealing with kids. I might help the school down the road and the school saying, Latu, can you come and do some parenting? So I'm going to be doing a program with Corinna School next year with some families in Corinna, Cannons Creek, to help them to be the best they can be. I'm not going to tell them what to do. I'm just going to build on their beautiful kete of knowledge. And then I help businesses if they need their cultural lens on how the brain develops for Pacifica.
I really love the work you do, Latu. Your workshop, I sat in one of your workshops. You came to Awate Kindergarten and did one of your talks about how kids' brain work. And I think it really helped me. I took away some really good things. Ile malamalam mai mawhawhau tamaiti. O le te loa o Samoa, si o tato atunu I Samoa, ma o lunga lava le numero tamaiti fo I sa waina. Kids are still dying from child abuse. Be ile mawhawhauina fo ile fasi, ai mana ia o pokalame whaanga solo na mwhaiona susua tuai I a onga. Whaalami loa fo ili na to mai ua, oe. Ai mana ia watula manoa lea, Latu for la sofo tuanga. Any advice you want to give our listeners who are tuning into our program today?
Oh, yes. Yes, of course I've got something to say. First of all, I feel that there are no perfect parents.
Yes.
That we are trying to do what we are taught to do as Pacific, but also bring in the new knowledge of understanding how the brain works for our kids. I just really want to encourage people that we all go through trouble. I'm a parent, I'm a solo dad, and it's not easy. So when people come to me, I always feel like, oh, Galo, fine, let's help. But the best thing that parents can do if they feel like they're in trouble or feel sad is to reach out. Reach out to me if you want to, and I will make sure that you'll get support from me and from the people that I know and I trust. I trust people to look after our people. So please, nobody's perfect. Try and reach out. Look after your well-being, because as a parent, you got a lot of work to do with your kids, your job, your study, So my self-care, go for a walk. The other one is breathe.
Have your coffee while it's hot.
Have your coffee while it's hot. Breathe. Ring your friend, talk to your friend and tell your friend, but not any friend, because you've got those friends that fake a colour. No, talk to the friend you really trust.
Wallily.
Yeah, and then reach out and see if you want to get some help. So I'm there to help you. I'm on Facebook if you want to. I always do a little video to encourage people every week.
Yes.
So if you want to look there, you'll see me walking. I'll just walk down the street here. And then I want to help you with understanding your kids. But you know what? God's got a plan for you. Just like He has for me. We are the same in God's eyes. So please, if I say anything that's not right, I'm just saying to you that we have people, and please use us while we're here in Porirua.
Yes. Ta oe vaenga lea o nei whaatutunga tāwhi tātou tangata I o I tangata pālangi for help. Our Pacifica people, there's a barrier if they see o least tangata lei o mai o tangata.
That's right.
Ai pe whawhaingo fie o nau mai a tātou lava I a Pacifica m tātou Samoa. Is there any contact, do you have a contact that mwhaiona whaongai tangata to reach you, Latu?
Yeah, so Latu Toomaga on the Facebook, and
Yes.
then just press the message, and then
Nice.
we send a message. That's the easiest
way.
Yeah, that's the easiest way.
Whawhtai lava. Molianga whawhtaili. Lau whetalainga tu lau ina. Moli whaavanoina fo lau taimi I te suma I lunga tautua si ufonga lau mua. Mātou te whamanuia mau wholo whaatu mua whawhanga uma, especially your thesis that you're working on. All the best. And we're looking forward to having you back here in the future.
Thank you. Thank you so much.